Hey everyone, Clint here from Oak and Iron Outdoors. Just a reminder, Oak stands for the hunting and fishing component, and Iron stands for the weight that we have to move to be strong for the outdoors. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video in regards to external and internal rotation and how getting those shoulders into external rotation really helps save your shoulders, especially in the weight room, all right? Now, today what I want to talk about is how to change the arm, or essentially what I call clearing the acromion with the arm or humerus, and in regards to three machines that you see in the weight room. Now, you know, as outdoorsmen, whether you're into musky fishing, bow hunting, archery, kayaking, canoeing, fly fishing, it doesn't matter what, we use our shoulders extensively. And it's just a great idea in the off season to be working out and getting those shoulders stronger. But I see a mistake by some individuals when they're in the weight room in regards to three machines, that they just made these simple little changes. It's gonna take a lot of pressure off those shoulders. And if you have shoulder impingement syndrome, it should relieve them much more than if you're doing it this previous way, we'll call it. So the anatomy of the shoulder, this is the scapula, this is the head of the humerus, and this is essentially the humerus, or essentially your arm bone. So if this comes up, it's the same as me bringing my arm up out in front again, okay? Now, as I mentioned last time in my previous video, I talked about the subacromial space in here, right? And how internal rotation cuts that space off, okay? The other thing that cuts off that space, that subacromial space, is when we bring that arm up, all right, and we bring it up a little too high. So if I bring this up, okay, the humerus up, you're gonna notice how it decreases that subacromial space, where if I bring it down, you'll notice how it opens it up. Now, the rotator cuff comes up and attaches right to this little tubercle on the top of the bone here, right? And what can happen is when I bring it up again too high and I come across my body, like if I'm doing chest flies, okay? Or that pressing movement, if it's up too high, it's decreasing that space, which puts pressure on the rotator cuff muscle, tendon, ligaments, and nerves that all have to go through this very tiny space in here. And then what can happen is we start to irritate that. Then we get out into the woods or the water, musky fishing, fly fishing, archery, bow hunting, canoeing, kayaking, whatever it might be, that can carry over, and vice versa, that can carry back over into the weight room, all right? So what I want to talk about right now, essentially, are these three machines that all we have to do is make this little adjustment on these particular machines, and it helps clear this space. So the machines such as chest press, chest fly, reverse fly, what happens is a lot of people have the seat and they start too low, okay? And when you start with the seat too low, that keeps your hands too high. And when I bring my hands up too high, just like I showed earlier, the subacromial space gets narrowed, okay? Because you're bringing that humerus up into that subacromion space, or the acromial arch. Now, the simple adjustment to change that is to move that seat up, all right? But just before I do that, I just want to show you how awkward this kind of looks, okay? So if I have my hands here and I go forward, you notice how my arms are almost like straight out, all right? And right now I'm impinging those shoulders. Now, as the previous video that I had where I talk about going from internal rotation into external rotation, let's go into internal rotation. Now I'm up higher yet, creating that internal rotation and pushing out. I don't even want to do that because it just feels uncomfortable right now, okay? So the simple change to that essentially is getting those hands, I want to get those hands lower on my body, all right, than high. Right now, they're too high. And how I do that is I simply take the seat and I raise that seat upwards. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so I just bumped the seat up. I'm going to put my hands up here. Now look where my elbows are, right? They're essentially pointing down at a 45-degree angle. They stay down for the most part. They come up slightly, obviously, when I extend, and then I bring it back to that neutral position. So what I essentially did by just raising the seat up, I've taken the humerus here and I'm moving it down away from that acromial arch, and I'm increasing that subacromial space, and I'm just allowing the nerves, tendons, ligaments, and rotator cuff muscle where it attaches to flow through more freely. So once again, as archers, bow hunters, kayakers, canoers, fishermen, this is very, very important that we protect our shoulders, and just making this one little simple adjustment can make the world of difference about being able to work out and enjoy our outdoor activities than maybe not. All right, so let's go from this machine here, and now we're gonna go on to another machine, the fly machine, or essentially pec deck, as some people like to call it. All right, folks, it's the same concept with this fly machine, all right? Now, if I put my hands up in here, you're gonna notice once again, look how high my arms are when they come across, okay? Actually, they feel kind of elevated right here. That my hands are actually up in front of my face, all right? And what I'm doing again is I'm taking that humerus and I'm pushing it up into that acromion, all right? Once again, reducing that subacromial space. The simple component right now is to take my seat, which is on its lowest setting, and I'm gonna bring it up as high as I can again, okay? All right, so I move the seat up, and now if you look at my shoulders when they come across, they're much lower. You can see where my hands are actually lower, maybe just a little bit below my chin now when I come across and then come back, all right? So once again, the key component to any of your chest press, chest fly machine, or I'll even show you reverse fly, is you want that seat as high as you can get it to clear that subacromial space. All right, folks, so a lot of these chest fly machines, this is the machine that I just showed you, the chest fly or pec deck, they reverse, and I have it now in the reverse component. Now I'm facing the other direction. Once again, I am sitting on the lowest level, so I want you to see where my arms and shoulders are when I bring that back. You can tell when I get back to here, those arms are almost level, if not a little bit higher, okay? When I bring them all the way back, and once again, that feels a little uncomfortable to me. So right now I'm gonna raise the seat up, and it's going to lower the hands and also then open up that subacromial space. So let's do that right now. All right, as you can tell, my head kind of cut off in the film, but I'm now sitting much higher. Now let's take a look at that reverse fly and look to see where my arm is, essentially the humerus bone, and see it is now in a much better location. So once again, the key component here with any of these chest or reverse fly machines, get that seat up as high as you can. That's really gonna help those shoulders out. So now what I wanna talk about is one more, we'll call it bonus exercise, okay? Bonus machine. And let's go over to that machine right now. All right, folks, I know you really can't see it, but right now I am sitting on a high row machine, okay? And now this particular machine is not so much about the seat height, all right? What it is about how far you pull the hands down and then back up again, okay? So I'm on a high row machine, and let me just show you a couple of reps, and then I'm gonna talk about how to make that change, all right? So as you can tell, just like a normal row machine or high row, I am going from high to low and then obviously all the way back up. Now, what can happen though, is if you're dealing with shoulder issues, shoulder impingement syndrome, all right? What you wanna do is you wanna stop that humerus, that arm bone, now from not so much going out to the side, but going in front because it can impinge there as well. And how we do that and keeping that subacromial space open again is we're just gonna stop short of extending all the way up to the top, and we're actually gonna go halfway down and back up, all right? So let me show you what that's gonna look like right now. So essentially, this is gonna be my starting point here now, and then I'm going from here to here, here to here. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm stopping that humerus from getting up into the acromion. All right, so now let's take a look at the model here for the last exercise, the high row that we just performed. If you do a normal high row, what you're doing is you're getting up here, and once again, you can see that how I'm decreasing that space, okay? So really what I'm doing is I'm bringing it down, okay? Opening that space up a little bit, not as much as you would be when you'd be performing a regular row, okay? But we like to use those lats for a lot of those rowing archery exercises to an extent, okay? So the high row is still an important exercise to do, but by bringing it down like I did, and then essentially using the rhomboids and scapular retraction to bring it back a little bit, okay? We're keeping that space open a little bit more compared to if we came all the way back up to that neutral position, you know, bringing it up all the way to the top like a high row is normally done. If you notice, that really pinches that space off, okay? So once again, just by going into those half or short rows that we just did, that really helps the shoulders out if you want to continue doing high rows and not have issues with shoulder impingement syndrome, all right? You know, folks, I just want to throw this out there. We have to stay fit. We have to stay strong for the outdoors. You know, the thing that's going to get us from the outdoors, that's going to get us out of the woods and out of the water, it's not going to be a shortage of money. It's not going to be a shortage of time. We'll always be able to make and find those things. But it's going to be us getting unhealthy, getting sick, just getting too weak to do these things. And as we get weaker and we don't feel good, okay, we are going to tend not to do these things, these outdoor activities that we love to do, right? And I'm hoping this is the reason that you are watching this video right now, because you're an outdoorsman or an outdoors lady, and you also want to stay strong. You want to stay fit to pursue your outdoor goals, all right? So hopefully this video right here showed you a few things that you can change, assuming that you're in the weight room and you're pushing those weights. And don't be afraid to lift heavy, folks. You know, if it doesn't hurt and you've been lifting for a little while, I tell my clients, don't be afraid to push it a little bit more. I think some people could go a little bit heavier in their lifting routines, all right? Now, just so you know, I will have more of these videos going forward. I'm going to talk about some archery strength. I'm going to have some stuff for you kayakers, for you paddlers here coming in late spring. And I'm just going to go over the whole gambit of everything from exercise, and then also my hunting and fishing strategies and my hunting and fishing adventures. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm making these videos to begin with, is so that way I can enjoy the outdoors and be strong for them, because that's what I really enjoy in life, is hunting, fishing, and teaching you folks at home everything that I know, all right? And it may be much, may not be much, but I really like sharing all of this information with you folks at home, all right? So if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep you in touch with my videos, and you won't miss any of my hunting, fishing, or exercise tutorial videos like we had today going forward, all right? Until next time, folks, Clint from Oak and Iron Outdoors.